I came out here this morning, check on things, and I noticed these cucumbers are starting to put out these little runners here. Well, I call them runners, but they're things that when they go out like this, they're looking for something to hang on to. And you see how the ends curl right there? They find something, they hang on to it, and the little ends kind of curl around them. And then these things, as the plant grows, they get tougher and stronger, right? When they start doing that, then you know it's time to go ahead and start building your trellis. So you can see they're putting them out. Not only that, but there's a possibility that once they decide to start doing this, that right down here, see that right there and right there, in the middle of these little things here, they're going to be putting out flowers. And once they start putting out these flowers, and those little flowers get pollinated, they're going to start growing little cucumbers. And as the cucumbers grow, they get heavy. And of course, you know, gravity wants to pull them down to the ground. I don't want my cucumbers to lay on the ground because you know how it is with stuff that lays on the ground, it starts to rot. Makes it easier for small rodents and critters to get to them, bugs and stuff like that. So this is an indication that I'm going to have to go ahead and start building my trellis. And I went ahead and started, pulling the weeds and stuff from around these again. But you know how weeds are always coming back. And in this row over here, if you remember in one of my other videos, I just recently planted cucumbers like from here to here. Yeah, about like right there on up here. And that way, these cucumbers and these that I planted here will be a few weeks apart, right? These are starting to want to vine and hang on to things and grow and put out little flowers, which means cucumbers are coming along before long. These right here haven't even sprouted, right? But they're in the dirt. These over here will be a few weeks behind these over here. But that's okay because I don't want to get them all at one pop. I don't want to have hundreds of cucumbers all at one time. I want to spread it out, you know. Like when these are acting like they're going to stop producing, these over here will still be producing for a few weeks, right? In the same way with those tomatoes that I put down there and here. These over here are growing. They'll want to make little tomatoes and already be producing when these start to begin growing and flowering, right? So maybe, depending on how they do, I might have a few weeks between the two. But anyway, as I clear out the weeds here, I'm just pitching them in the middle on top of this. You can see some of this I probably ought to just take and put in the compost pile. But I will be putting some what do you call it? Some kind of garden fabric or something over the middle of this because I don't want weeds growing in between. But I did want room enough to walk. So as I trellis all this stuff, I still have room to walk in between. I'll cover it up and that way anything that grows underneath it will, you know, just because it won't have enough sunshine, will just die back and become compost eventually anyway. So anyway, that's what I'm doing today. And also over here in this milk jug, I mixed up some, notice this pretty blue color. I mixed up some Miracle-Gro And I used really warm water, and I mixed up that Miracle-Gro. I didn't make it very strong. I made it weak because, you know, my I don't want to I don't want to stun and damage uh, any of my little tomatoes or my cucumbers by giving them too much nitrogen, because too much nitrogen will burn the roots and burn the leaves and kill the plant. So got to be very, very careful with that. So I made it weak, especially for my first couple of feedings with the Miracle-Gro. But I'm going to see how that works with them. And I'm going to be cleaning out the weeds around these little tomato plants, just like I did here around these cucumber plants. And then I'll be spreading Miracle-Gro, just this 1 gallon, spread it equally all along through here. So I think that 1 gallon will go a long ways in here. But I firmly believe all these little tomato plants are just going to love it, and the cucumbers as well. But as you can see, the cucumbers are much bigger leaves and bigger stemmed than those little tomato plants are right now. And that's my concern. I didn't want it, to damage any of my plants by trying to help them. Because sometimes when you're trying to help plants, you're actually causing more harm than you are helping them. But giving them a nice little weak solution of Miracle-Gro, I think will be a good start. All right. So I got up, came out and fed the mosquitoes, and I continue to feed the mosquitoes. But I did go over there and I got smart. I went ahead and put the off bug spray on myself. And once I did that, man, it made it so much nicer out here. Those mosquitoes learned quickly. They learned real quick that, that stuff just does not sit right with them. But anyway, I got my little garden work on, and I got to do the weeding around there, and then I'm going to put the Miracle-Gro down. And then I'm going to go get some gas from the lawnmowers and see if I can get some of this back 40 back here knocked down. And I haven't seen any more critters since blocking up that hole over there. And the possum, I guess, just wandered off. I'm sure he wandered off to look for a whole new place to hang out. But I'm going to check around the foundation of the deck and the house a little bit closer to find out, is anything else digging anywhere else. And if I find it, I'll let you know. All right? So, man, I'm glad I'm in the shade, because in the sunshine, it's kind of hot. But all of this got shade in the morning, and it will get, not shade, it got sunshine in the morning, but as the sun moved over, it's kind of in the shade now. Which tells me, because I've been observing the shade out here, and I can tell already how the sun has been shifting and, kind of like moving towards the south, because the shade from the trees is over there a little bit more, which tells me that it's time to go ahead and start knocking down the tops of these trees. Because I'll be trimming these back all the way. You can see kind of how I had trimmed them back before. So I'll be trimming all these back down to the tops of the stumps here. Kind of like that one back there. Or those two back there. I'll be trimming them down like that. And then all this underbrush back here, be knocking it down as well. But I guess you can see how I got started on that. Let me, so you can see how back here behind the trees, I've gotten a lot of that underbrush already knocked down, because it was coming up even with the trees. And so I'll be working on that over the next few days as well. I do have cars I need to work on, But I will be making separate videos on, what I do to the automobiles, the maintenance on them and repairs and stuff like that. But I think I'm going to have 4 days full of projects and videos that I'm working on that I'll be putting up on YouTube. So anyway, if you're good, you know what to do. Subscribe, give me some thumbs up and some comments, and I'll talk to you later. Hooey, I need to drink my coffee.